Yo.
Yes, sir. What's up, guys?
Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in three, two, 1.
On the troll.
Hello and welcome to Mzansi back again. It's that time of the night where we have to talk about what happened in court. And we're sorry that we couldn't be here Friday.
Yes,
definitely.
Even during the weekend, guys.
Yes.
I apologize. I thought maybe we would be able to cover it either Saturday or Sunday.
Yes.
But then the bokeh and then the confusion with the whole
It's a
holiday situation.
Yes.
Cupcake.
Right. We are here now. We can do this if you guys want us to do it, or we can turn back.
Yeah, congratulations to the Bokehs, by the way. Congratulations to South Africa. People were happy. People were happy. People were in celebratory mood.
What about you?
Let's not talk about me.
What about you?
I'm right, guys. I'm not a rugby fan.
Okay, let's just hit that like button and keep it going like that. We are here now. Nothing can be said that did not happen. This is Mzansi Reality, and we hope you are enjoying as usual, and you are going to enjoy until we finish. And we're hoping also that it's going to be a smooth move. Nothing is going to happen. Emily, greet our people, and perhaps just a quick one. I've got some of my staff that sits next to you. I would like to believe. Is it possible that you get me those just for time being?
Yeah.
I'll cover you. Can you get those? Oh yeah, you'll see there. Just there. You'll see the yeah. Thank you very much. Right.
Okay, I thought you were talking about something else, but it's fine. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us yet again for another rather discussion. We call it a discussion. We cover the Senzo Meyiwa trial, and interesting things happened in court today. More interesting was this whole narration of the stories of accused 1 and 2 and how they were captured and tortured and tubed, and it's a lot, you guys. It's a lot. If their versions are what actually happened, they shouldn't be in that court, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So I don't know what is happening in South Africa if that their version is the truth.
What do you think?
In my opinion, they are way too detailed. It's like when you have gone through something, you remember even things that don't matter. You remember the car, that it's a Fortuner. You remember the BMW. You remember him coming out of the boot, coming out of the car and sitting on the boot. And
so that story of a
giving
Fortuner,
you-
by the way, was finally corroborated because we were told it is the same car that took accused number 2 to Grenier
yes.
by Jonathan now.
So it is a car that worked a lot when it comes to apprehending these two accused.
It'd be very interesting to see the logbook. But wouldn't a logbook sort of give Jonathan's whereabout, not the Fortuner?
Yeah, it will give Jonathan's whereabouts. If it's his occurrence book, it will give his whereabouts, not the Fortuna.
Right. Okay. It doesn't matter. Now we want something.
Guys, it's still business as usual. Please like the video, ne?
Yes.
Don't make us labor hard for nothing. Press that like button. We are begging for your like over here, okay? We appreciate it a lot. All right. Like the video. It helps the channel a lot. And also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Why are you watching without subscribing?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? You are a regular watcher and you are not subscribed. I don't understand that. Make it make sense. And then another thing, you can also continue the conversation in the comment section. Right now we are live, and if you're lucky enough to catch us live, there's a chat happening right now, and I know that it's lit.
Yeah, it does get lit here.
It's lit. I
Greeting
like
to
going there
Botswana,
myself.
greetings to America, and greetings to South Africans who are here. And
Greetings, guys.
welcome Moodley, C, Lulama, welcome. Nelsiwe, welcome. Grace Kolani, if I'm not mistaken, welcome. We greet you. There's Mtogozisi already on the chat. Zama Gwabe, Mtogozisi Lang, you even know before you even watch. Tami
I know
Kuzwayo,
my regulars. I know
Petro,
people that watch.
and then there's Mandisa, and then there's Ndogozo. Yeah, let us continue.
Yeah, Advocate Mngomezulu said that he was feeling better and ready to continue with the cross-examination this morning. And Constable Wendell Jonathan was still on the stand for cross-examination by Advocate Mngomezulu. Now, Mngomezulu opened up with the question, you no longer have your pocketbook. And Jonathan said, I don't have it. Mngomezulu asked, you said you first met the accused person too at Moroka police station. It's my instruction that that is not true. His version is the first time you appeared in his presence was when you were called to meet Mogane and Mabena next to the garage on the way to Alberton. You dispute that? And Jonathan said, yes, I dispute that. And Mngomezulu said you were traveling in a white GTI in the company of another colored person. And Jonathan agrees, yes, my crew member was Constable Lessering. He is colored.
Mm-hmm.
So this is interesting.
This is yeah, it is.
You remember even who this Jonathan was driving with. And the fact that this person was also a colored. And people want us to believe that
This guy is lying.
they are not telling the truth.
Mm.
Accused number 2, they were traveling in a white Fortuner with Constable Mabena and Constable Mogane. And Jonathan said, that's correct. Mngomezulu then said the accused was handcuffed from behind while he was seated in that white Fortuner. And Jonathan said, no, he was handcuffed in front. So why insist on whether he was handcuffed in front instead of at the back? Because being handcuffed at the back hurts, right?
There is no dispute on how this guy was handcuffed. I think even he said it was first at the back and then later at the front.
Did he say it? Because I heard it.
Yeah,
on
the Friday one, the Friday version. It happened somewhere that they changed their cuffs and they put them in front.
All right. So Mngomezulu then said, it is further my instruction that Sergeant Buthelezi and Maphumulo arrived traveling in a white hard body bakkie. Yes, I can confirm that, says Jonathan. Mngomezulu then said both Mabena and Mogane arrived and you had a discussion with them. And that meeting, accused number 2 was taken out of the Toyota Fortuner and put in your car on the right side of the back seat of the motor vehicle you were traveling in. Then Jonathan said, I met the accused at SAPS Moroka and not the garage. He insists that he met him at SAPS Moroka police station and not at the garage. And Mngomezulu said, then Mabena entered your car and sat at the back of your vehicle on the left-hand side. And Jonathan said, no. Mngomezulu then said the door was open and Constable Buthelezi was standing next to accused number 2. Jonathan said no. Mngomezulu said you then pushed the front seat backwards towards the accused and pressed it very hard on his knees. At that moment, Sergeant Mabena was putting a grey plastic over his face and Buthelezi was pushing him so that he doesn't go out of the car. Jonathan said no. Mngomezulu continued to say, okay, before that happened, the judge said, Mr. Mngomezulu, is this outside the garage? And Mngomezulu said, a distance away from the garage. While Mngomezulu continued to say that it is my instruction that the assault continued until you convened another meeting after Mr. Mogane received a call.
Yes.
Jonathan said, no, I was never at the garage with the accused or with Sergeant Mogane. Mngomezulu then said, you got into your vehicles with the accused, then you proceeded to an open area next to the steel tanks. That area is next to a dumping site towards Alberton. That is where all the cars stopped. Jonathan then said, no, I have no knowledge of that. Mngomezulu said, upon your arrival at that place, you all alighted from the motor vehicle, including the accused person. Then Brigadier Gininda arrived with a man who was wearing cross belts and a lady by the name of Mohola. Jonathan said, no, I have no knowledge of that. This was the song. I have no knowledge of that.
Yeah, today he was not
I
ready
have no
to
knowledge of that.
to give more information.
They were traveling in a white BMW. And Jonathan said, I would not know, my lord. Mngomezulu continued to say, there was also a meeting in the presence of Gininda. Accused number 2's handcuffs were removed from behind. Mabena is the one who removed them. Then his jacket was taken off.
Did you catch that?
Then he was handcuffed from the front.
Do you now catch that? That at some point they were at the back, removed from the back to the front.
But
the
that's
handcuffs.
Mngomezulu saying it.
Yeah.
It's not Jonathan.
This is a story that, not Jonathan though. Yes, this is a story that is narrating. So to say that, yes, eventually they were in front, but they started at the back. This is according to accused number 2.
He doesn't want to acknowledge Jonathan.
Yeah, because if he acknowledges that, then it would mean he was there during that process, because he only appears at the sergeant
police station. They asked him, do you dispute that also? And Jonathan said, yes. When I received the accused for the first time, his handcuffs was in front, my lord. Now, I noticed something. I noticed accused number 2 shaking his head just after this was being said. His facial expression, it was like he's in disbelief. He's in disbelief to the fact that perhaps allegedly, if it took place as he told or instructed his lawyer, he can't believe that they would lie like that.
Well, anything is possible with them.
Mngomezulu then said immediately after there were stairs. He says if they are still there, he doesn't know whether those stairs are still there or not. Where you took accused number 2 towards those steel poles and removed one handcuff from one side of his hand and tied it on the pole. Jonathan said, I have no knowledge of that, my lord. Between yourself and Mabena, there was a person who poured him with water.
Cold water.
Cold water.
In winter.
In winter.
June, remember?
June. Yes, it's June.
It's June.
And it's very cold during that time.
It's winter in South Africa.
It is cold.
Yes.
Johannesburg, Gauteng, that area is even colder.
Mm-hmm.
So he had a container and poured the accused with water from the front of his body. And Jonathan said, I have no knowledge of that. Mngomezulu said that is when Gininda told accused number 2 that he must tell the truth about the death of Senzo Meyiwa. Jonathan said, I have no knowledge. Mngomezulu continued to say a plastic bag was placed covering his head. And that is where the tubing continued.
Yes.
Jonathan said the first time I saw him was at Moroka SAPS. He insists that he first saw him at Moroka SAPS. There's nothing we can do about that. It is his version. It's his version.
But unfortunately, he lost that pocketbook. So only now the car can give us directions.
Yeah. Yeah. Mngomezulu then asked, there was a device used to electrocute the accused number 2. He was electrocuted from his stomach. You, Mabena, and Buthelezi were exchanging using the device. And Jonathan was like, I don't know that. Mngomezulu said Sergeant Mogano did not partake to the torturing of the accused. He was always outside. And Jonathan says Sergeant Mogano would ask us for assistance in either handing over the suspect or escorting. When the suspect is in the vicinity, Sergeant Mogani is also present. Mngomezulu then said, okay, let me proceed with the version of accused number 2. During the process of using that device after the plastic was taken out from his head, the accused bled, started bleeding from his nose, and that's when Mogani said, Yegelani Daiman.
Yegelani Diman.
Leave this man. Yegelani Diman. Leave this man. And I'm like, Diman. Diman sounds like someone who
Pretoria
is,
language.
yeah, who is Sotho, Tswana, or Pedi, with a bit of Afrikaans dal in there. And that's usually people in Pretoria who Mataima Pitori who speak like this most of the time. So I don't know, maybe they are there also in Johannesburg. Yegelani Diman. Leave this man. Sounding, yeah, like a very much Sotho Tswana-ish. But recurring, you know. Jonathan then said the accused never got into our cars. Mngomezulu then said he was wet and bleeding and was put back into the Toyota Fortuner. Now, there's a time where our beloved judge was insisting on asking whether they had scars. Remember? Or whether there were any visible injuries. Not just the judge, even the state as well likes to emphasize on this. Now, this kind of torturing described, would it leave any scars?
No. Water? Can water leave scars?
Being electrocuted?
No.
It is torture, but will it leave any physical scars?
No.
Then Mngomezulu said he was wet and bleeding and was put back into the Toyota Fortuner. The Toyota Fortuner stopped at Chris Hani Baragwanath Hospital. That's when Colonel Rapadu came into the picture. Jonathan said, I have no knowledge of that. Mngomezulu said Colonel Rapadu got into the vehicle, then gave the keys to his wife. They were in company of a child. What accused number 2 observed is that Colonel Rapadu gave the keys to his wife. And Jonathan said, I don't know about that. I met Colonel Rapadu for the first time at Moroka SAPS.
I was worried about the wife part. Maybe be general as it comes to say a woman.
Or a female.
A female. Because if you say a wife, then a wife says, no, I was never there. I don't have a child that went to Baragwan. Maybe this was a side chick.
Maybe it was a side chick. If it was a side chick, well, the wife now knows you were at Baragwana with the child.
At least you take one, you get one back.
Well, the wife now knows, if she's watching the case, that you were with some female at. And why would the accused think that that's your wife? I'm saying that's if. You know me, I like drama. That's if. That's the situation. But if not, we move. Maybe that's his wife.
If we are lucky enough.
Yeah. Mngomezulu then said soon thereafter they traveled and you escorted them to an open area near Orlando next to a dumping area where there are ATM machines that were no longer functioning. And Jonathan said, I have no knowledge of that. Mngomezulu said, I want to remind you that when accused number 2 said he was poured with water, it was winter time. You escorted them until that area, and Colonel Gninda arrived with those crew members. Jonathan said the only escort that was conducted was from Moroka SAPS to Vosloorus Magistrate Court. Interesting that he mentions a Vosloorus magistrate court appearance.
Which seems seems shambolic if you look at it. And
Where are the records of it?
And also, if you, as Mngomezulu, tried to compare it with the handover that happened in where is this place? Is it not Bosbeck? Where Cronje was? Is it Boxbeck?
Cronje,
Yes.
yes, was it Bosbeck?
Yes. Comparing that, where you hand over, you make sure that till the door. In this case of Vosloorus, you chill at the back, you let them
At
walk
the park.
in, where you are not even sure if they entered.
I don't know if it's the park or the parking. But it was quite a distance. And he said the doors are at the back or at the side. And he called that monitoring. That's how
Escorting.
they handed him over and escorted him to the Vosloorus magistrate court.
Just to let him go at the
What
court.
happened at the Vosloorus magistrate court? Why are we not being given that information?
Doing everything to the T. Like
Why?
been doing things.
Yes, we were told what happened at the Boxback magistrate court. We're told what happened everywhere else that they shared. However, this Vosloorus magistrate court thing, I was hearing it for the first time, guys, today, in my own opinion. He even made an appearance at Vosloorus magistrate court, which I feel is the proper jurisdiction for the case.
It is.
But we know of the court appearance that happened in October 2020 when they first appeared in court at Boxback Magistrate Court. They didn't appear at Vosloorus Magistrate Court. And I wonder why.
So what's the gist of this? It seems there was for the purpose of processing and doing all this harming to this accused number 2, as it is alleged, they booked him for a case that did not exist.
Now that is interesting.
Because that Nongoma case comes and fades when it comes to Ntanzi.
Yes.
There is no accountability for it.
No proper explanation as to what type of case it was and what happened to it and how
Even
he's
Baloyi,
involved.
for that matter, is not dwelling on that case.
No,
because
like
it
they dwelled
never
in the
existed.
Cleveland case with
Yes, like they did with Cleveland case. So this was a case of, let's just book this guy with a different case and deal with him to confess the other case.
And then when it finally happened,
And then we book him for the case that we want him for.
Sure.
Upon that, there was writing that left things open now. Because that writing that kept on happening, it now comes back to bite them.
Mngomezulu said then Brigadier Gininda arrived. He opened the boot of the BMW. He said on the edge of the boot and he took out some documents. Jonathan said, I have no knowledge of that. Brigadier Gininda took those documents and gave them to Colonel Rapadu. And Jonathan said, I did not see that Mr. Brigadier Gininda at Moroka SAPS.
You see how he's addressing, he's not saying Brigadier.
Mr.
It's Mr. Brigadier Gininda.
Gininda. It's so...
A well-spoken man, I must say. We will unpack. A well-spoken man. There's a similar case.
articulate, can express himself.
They say he's calm as they come.
Come as a storm.
So I see many people are in a hurry to see him or to hear from him.
No, he will be
The
super
expectation,
articulate.
just expect someone who's well articulate, well spoken, calm as they come. No emotions shown. I saw this other case and I had him on that case. In fact, this, if you look at that case, what is currently happening, it's almost to 100% replica of what was happening on that case.
I wish we could show you guys.
I wish there's a judge there, a woman judge of no color, who was moving. He was not begging.
Not a judge, a lawyer.
I
Actually,
mean, a lawyer,
Actually,
sorry.
not
A lawyer. It was a lawyer, yes, who was moving. That one was not begging. That woman was not begging. Not like this is a soft court. As far as I'm concerned, this one where hey, you are told, come down, hey, can't treat witnesses like that. That woman, I forgot her name.
Not afraid. No fear.
That's a difference. If I was to show you that clip.
That's the kind of lawyer you want when you're in trouble.
If I was to show you that clip, that's the difference between our lawyers and other lawyers.
True.
No fear.
True.
Not being timid about it. They just move.
I remember there used to be a lot of criticism for our former head of state and why he liked to hire lawyers of no color. But now I understand. I forgive him. Sometimes you get frustrated with the respect and the humbling and the my life is on the line. Why are you not being a shark? Why are you not being a beast? Why are you not fighting for me?
Some people on those comments, if you watch that one, they were even saying this woman is a bull. But I kind of understand what she was facing now.
Yeah, now it makes sense.
If you watch this case again, which is almost a replica of what happened, except maybe they could have done whatever that they said to have done, maybe. And that's a big maybe, because even the processes of everything that is narrated there, the issue of harming, the issue of everything. There, Brigadier Ginindi, if I'm not mistaken, was the person who took the statement, the same way as these people took the statement and the pointings out. Exactly.
I saw an article with regards to it. I didn't watch the video, but I think we should look into it.
I'll look into it. Let me see if I can not find it.
Please look for it, because I feel like our people need to see it. Because guys, if you are anticipating a cramming and a crashing down, no, that's not gonna happen. He's very calm, well-spoken, articulate.
You know that breathe in, breathe out thing?
He's not what you guys are expecting at all.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
He may walk out of there having concluded that this case has merit. We'll see how his testimony goes. But yeah, let me continue as you try and look for the footage. Well, assault, torture continued. Instructed accused number 2 to sign those documents. And Jonathan said, I have no knowledge of that. Mngomezulu then said documents were signed by accused number 2 under that coercion. And Jonathan said, I have no knowledge of that. Mngomezulu continued to say thereafter, there were certain documents that were not thumbprint. And Jonathan said, I would not know about the thumbprint, my lord. Immediately thereafter, accused number 2 was taken to Primrose Police Station. Jonathan says, I have no knowledge of that. He was not booked in. Sergeant Mogane entered the police station with the purpose of booking in accused number 2. And Jonathan said, I have no knowledge of Germiston, my lord. So this Primrose Police Station is in Germiston. Then according to his instructions, Sergeant Mabena was talking over the phone in the motor vehicle and informed the person he was talking to over the phone that Mr. Mogane is inside the police station. Upon his arrival back from the police station, Sergeant Mogane, there was an instruction that they should travel to Rustenburg, where you still escorting them. And Jonathan said, I was not in Germiston. The escort stopped after that. They had to travel to Rustenburg, where the accused was residing. This is interesting. I was under the impression that he was arrested first at Rustenburg, right?
Yes.
And then brought to the side for the Senzo Meyiwa confession and stuff.
Now, just a small thing. Do you see now that the issue of signature with Cronje being one signature at the end It
The
could
last
have
page.
been that statement was either rewritten to remove that blood trail that was happening on the statement.
The blood stains. Well, the judge asked if Rapadu and Gininda also traveled to Rustenburg. Mngomezulu went to accused number 2 together to get further instructions. And Colonel Rapadu left with Brigadier Gininda because he was not present when the accused was taken to Primrose Police Station. On the way to Rustenburg, where they met Brigadier Gininda in the presence of Sergeant Mogano, the accused person was left attended in the Toyota Fortuner, and they proceeded to his place. That's when Sergeant Mabena came back in possession of a black plastic bag, which he said whose they found ammunition in his room.
And he asked, "How did you get inside my room?"
My goodness. The accused asked how did he enter his room because he was in possession of the keys. Then there was no answer from him. So it's very interesting that he was arrested or allegedly kidnapped or captured first, and then the charges were put on him later. I was under the impression that they searched his place first in Rustenburg and then found the ammunition before they arrested him and brought him over to Gauteng. Turns out they tortured him first, then charged him later, allegedly. Allegedly, okay. Don't hold me on that. So Jonathan said, I can't comment on that. So this is very interesting, you guys. So they first arrest him, take him back to Rustenburg, or make him confess to the Senzo Meyiwa, allegedly make him confess to the Senzo Meyiwa trial or murder, and then go back to Rustenburg, and then now they get into his house or his room with no search warrant, because there's no search warrant being mentioned. Did they show it to him? We don't know. And then no keys. They just got in and they came back with a plastic bag and they said, ammunition. You know, all they needed were lawyers. Now that I think about it, this is why I don't like poverty.
Yes.
All they needed was good lawyers from the very beginning of all these shenanigans. But then, because they knew of their backgrounds, in my opinion, they had to move them around from police station to police station, making it difficult even for the family members, because they knew they were from poor backgrounds, to find them. So that they can get them lawyers. Because all this thing needed a lawyer from the very beginning.
To sort it out, right?
48 hours of no court appearance, let him go. It's that simple, right? Let him go. You have no charges against my client. So from the 16th of June, 17th, 18th, 19th, he's confessing. 24th, he's confessing again. Then he's taken back to, it's a lot, guys. Taken back to Rustenburg. A lot is happening. A lot. And he still hasn't made a single court appearance.
Yes.
All he needed was a lawyer. From the very beginning.
Exactly.
And why was he moved so much?
That's why we said at some point that if you don't have money, then you rot in jail.
Why was he moved so much? There's so much movement.
That's why people loses their pocketbook. One thing that they should not lose, that they are given by the state. When it matters the most, they don't remember the issues of the states. When it matters for them, they remember. But let's see if we can play this video, Emil.
Okay.
Last year, Radovan Krecher's business associate, Desai Lupondo, confessed to police details of a drug deal gone wrong. The 6 men here are on trial for kidnapping and torturing the brother of a man who'd apparently double-crossed them in the drug deal. Lupondo claims police coerced him into making that statement. The officer who initially took the statement has now taken the stand. The court has ruled that the witness's face may not be televised. Officer Bongani Ntanzi has testified that Lupondo had not informed him of being influenced and was in fact more than willing to talk. and also told the court that had Lupondo stated that he was coerced, it would have been reported.
This statement would not have come to existence, and I would have reported the matter, that is a procedure, on the occurrence book.
But during cross-examination, Lupondo's lawyers revealed damning evidence. The assault was in fact recorded in the police's occurrence book on the morning of his arrest last November.
So I want to put it to you, sir, that you are part and parcel, I will argue it later, of this whole investigating team, covering up and hiding the fact that accused number 2 was assaulted.
I think, Your Worship, that it's improper for defense to say that.
At the same time, 6 police officers monitoring the court proceedings have been removed from the security detail. They were apparently present at the time of the arrest and could be called as witnesses. The case continues on Wednesday. Narissa Subramani, Palm Ridge.
Did you hear the emphasis? Did you hear the lawyer?
Exactly. Do you see how pumped up she is if you compare to what is currently happening in our court? Calm, collected. You have to keep, you must respect the witnesses.
But isn't it?
But what
guys,
is
what have you picked up? What have you picked up that's kind of like deja vu?
Common things. If you told me, I would have recorded.
There's a couple of things that are quite similar to what we're seeing right now. And another thing is that torture. The lawyers even mention it. You know, they were assaulted. That's the lawyer speaking, and in a very stern voice. This lady is needed in this trial. I don't know who she is, but I like how she represents her clients.
You do that here, as these defenses as they are now, they'll probably get called out. But you bring her
bring her.
Then you'll probably see a different reaction, and I promise that's what I see.
Oh! I didn't know there was footage. I read an article regarding this case. I did not know that there's even footage. And listen to how calm he is in that footage.
Yeah, sound calm.
Very
So that's what you should expect. Basically, the emphasis, you should expect someone who's very calm,
Very
collected, knows his whereabouts, stuff and all that. Probably going to deny that he was in a presence of this guy. I don't see how you can deny the BMW that is white. So, but I know that in my thinking, this is in my head, it's probably going to deny that he was ever there, sitting on the edge of the boot, unleashing like a little one who's bigger.
Mngomezulu now on Jonathan taking Ntanzi to Foslera's court for the alleged confession to, it's actually the Boksburg court, to Miss Grenier, the magistrate. And he asked, let's get to the 24th of June 2020, when the accused was escorted to Boksburg court. Where was he escorted from? And Jonathan says from Mute SAPS. By whom? By myself and a few other members, says Jonathan. What time was it? Jonathan says it was in the afternoon. And Mngomezulu asks in the afternoon what time? And Jonathan says from 1 up to 2. And Mngomezulu said, I want to check if that time frame makes sense from your evidence from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. I want to be sure as to what time did you arrive with accused number 2 at Boksburg court. And Jonathan said the exact time, I can't recall. But as far as I know, it was in the afternoon. How many times did you escort accused number 2 to Boksburg court? How many times in different days? And Jonathan said it was only twice. First time it was from Moroga to Foslera. Second time it was from Mute SAPS to Boksburg Magistrate Court. The time between 1 and 2 is associated with from Mute to Boksburg. So the magistrate, upon her arrival at Boksburg court, did she find you there? Mngomezulu asked. And Jonathan said no, as we went to Miss Grenier's office. Now Mngomezulu asked, did you arrive before her? And Jonathan said No. When we arrived, she was already in her office, which was a lie. Because according to her evidence, she said when she arrived at Boksburg Court in the passage, there were Metro police officers that were heavily armed.
Yes.
And then Jonathan says, I'm sure she was referring to
Someone
us.
between the two of them is like, I didn't like the line of questioning of Mshololo. I saw it. I almost cringed.
Mngomezulu.
No, it was Mshololo at the time.
Oh.
Mngomezulu nailed it. But there is a part where, towards the end, where Mshololo said, because the magistrate will never lie.
Oh.
Oh, I was like, what are you saying?
Even the judge corrected her. I remember that. The judge said, you can't
What am
say
I
that.
supposed to make out of that?
Okay. So, yes, Jonathan said, I'm sure she was referring to us as we were armed on that day. Her testimony is
He
that...
said heavily armed. He did admit that they were heavily armed.
Yes.
Then after the judge questioned, as usual, where the judge seems to be on the side of the defense, of the
state.
NPA and those who are testifying. And then when he asked that question, they were like, okay, it is normal for us to carry such weapons and be on those jackets and all that.
Okay. So her testimony is that when the people that she saw were heavily armed Metro police officers, there was a man that was handcuffed and a man that was wearing a suit. And Jonathan said, that's correct. So that means you arrived first because she's the one who found you there. And Jonathan said we were standing in the passage on our way or in front of Miss Cronje's office. He didn't answer the question. Does this confirm that you arrived first and she came later? After you arrived and stood at her passage on her way to her office. Now, the judge, of course, would not allow this kind of cross-examination, but it's needed with some of these witnesses who leave stuff hanging, okay? This is not an answer.
Yes.
So, Mngomezulu then said, but my question was, did you arrive before or after Miss Cronje? And Jonathan says, we were only instructed to the office we should take the accused to. It's so weird why he doesn't want to answer this question, you guys. It's really a simple question. Was he there before or after Miss Cronje arrived? There's nothing difficult in that question.
Because he's
But
second guessing his answer to collaborate. It seemed as if he wanted to corroborate the story of Cronje, but he didn't. He was not sure what Cronje said. And already had spoken about waiting for Cronje.
Mr. Mogano is the one who made copies of your certificate. And Jonathan said that's correct. So remember Mogano saying that, not even Mogano, Miss Cronje saying that she only got certificates of 2 police officers. So it means this Jonathan's certificate is part of the 2 that were handed to Miss Cronje. And the rest of the 6, no, they were not handed over the certificate. So Mngomezulu then said, on that day, you had your pocketbook. Jonathan said, that's correct. Mngomezulu said, so it means it must have been recorded in your pocketbooks as to what time you arrived there. And Jonathan said, that's correct. You said you did not enter the office when the accused was interviewed. And Jonathan said, that's correct. Prior to the closing of the door of room 2 and the process of interviewing accused number 2, where did you go? And Jonathan said, we were outside at the vehicles. So after the whole process, Mngomezulu asked, was done and dusted, you then escorted the accused. And Jonathan said, Sergeant Mogane then called us and told us that the statement was now completed. Then we walked back into the magistrate court and we escorted the suspect back into the vehicle. Now, Mngomezulu asked him, where did you travel from there. And Jonathan said from the vehicles, the suspect was in handcuffs. He was placed into the Fortuna of Sergeant Mogane from Boksburg Magistrate Court. We conducted the escort straight to Mute SAPS.
But what about the fact that these people are coming all the way from Ekurhuleni
Hey,
to jurisdiction? What?
Rustenburg, yo, a lot is going on.
It just doesn't make sense. Is there no one else who was supposed to be doing this? And to get the answer that we got from the end, why they were actually they are no longer existing, it's not clear. It's like they did something and then they were told to they were redeployed, basically, move away from that situation.
And he's talking as if EMPD Yonke is redeployed. I don't think that's the case. It's just, perhaps it's just them, right? Their division.
Yeah, someone is saying those 6 were Gininda. Hadebe, Mogane, Mapumulo, Buthelezi, and the lady Gininda's girlfriend. Allegedly.
Allegedly. We don't know. But, Joe. Mngomezulu then said the version of the accused is that he didn't sign any documents inside the office of Ms. Grenier. Then Jonathan said, I would not know about that. Mngomezulu asked, then you went to an industrial area in Germiston and assaulted and ordered to sign documents. And his blood spilled on the documents or spilled on the documents. Now that would explain
why there's one signature. That sums everything up, and then the other pages have initials.
It's about 8 or 9
probably
pages.
There's rewriting of the whole thing, and then do away with that old one, and then you put initials.
That has their signature.
And then you leave the
thumbprint
one that has a signature.
at the back.
Yeah, at the back. Simple as that. That sums everything up.
Because it's very interesting. It had no signature, no thumbprint. The 8 pages did not have. It's just a question out of curiosity. Well, then Jonathan then said, from the magistrate court until Mute, I never saw any injuries on the accused up to the completion of the escort. A pro forma and a statement completed by Ms. Grenier was shown to the court, which he denied because the reason is that the documents he was forced to sign must have had some marks of blood stains. He was being forced. He saw them, according to him, his version. Then Jonathan said, I would not know.
Someone is saying it here, saying that it's alleged that they were handpicked carefully, and apparently they are from the SDI unit that was disbanded due to unlawful activities, and this is alleged.
Yo, hi, Sugan Matota.
So you have one it was going, it was a moving car which was growing and learning these tactics, allegedly. I mean, you make one mistake, you're not going to do it in the next one. As you can see this time, the recording of what happened to the accused is not done. In the previous case, there was a recording of what happened.
Yes.
To the accused.
So when asked, do you know what time was he booked in? And Jonathan said our arrival at Mute was between 6 and 7 o'clock in the evening. Who booked him in? And Jonathan said Sergeant Mogane. That was the last Jonathan says he saw accused number 2 until he saw him today in court. Or now in court. Mngomezulu then asked, did you know accused number 2 didn't bath since the 16th of October 2020? Jonathan says, I don't know that. Mngomezulu then said, and was not in contact with his family. Jonathan says, I don't know that.
Now if I guess they would need proof, but they can actually obtain proof. If this thing was disbanded for that, can they find a proof that was the case? And already cases that are sort of touching to that unit should be looked at with
all of them
with 4 eyes.
Relooked.
Yes, to say that these people are people who had this type of behavior already, and these people and also look at the narrative of people that they caught, what happened and how they were dealing with the situation. Shouldn't they have been looking at those things like that?
The history, it never lies.
To balance now the mistakes that could have been caused through this dream team.
So Mngomezulu asked, are you aware that accused number 2 was kept in custody from the day you booked him in until the 21st of March 2021?
No, Stelo, it's not the same Buthelezi, not Joyce.
No.
It's not Joyce.
It's a different Buthelezi.
It's a different Buthelezi, this one. Yes.
Joyce does not work for EMPD.
No.
She's in the SAPS. So, do you know that then Jonathan said no with regards to accused number 2 being booked from the time that he left him up until the 21st of March 2021. Now, this is the following year. Okay. So let's get to the escort where you took accused person from Vosloorus to Moroka police station. Then Jonathan says the escort was from Moroka to Vosloorus, not the other way round. So from Moroka police station, are you saying it was after he was with Rapadu? At the time when you escorted accused from Moroka, that is when he made the statement from Colonel Rapadu. And Jonathan says that's correct. Jonathan said he was not present during the discussion between Sergeant Mogane and Colonel Rapadu. After the taking of a confession, Jonathan is the one who escorted the accused to Sergeant Mogane. He says once the statement was complete, he took the suspect from Colonel Rapadu and took the suspect to Sergeant Mogane's vehicle. It was in the morning when he took the accused to Colonel Rapadu's office. He said he was the first to arrive. So Mngomezulu then asked, if you had your pocketbook, you tell the court precisely what time you arrived. And Jonathan said, as he could recall, it was around 6:30 to 7. Mngomezulu then asked, you are now handing over the suspect to Sergeant Mogane. Did they tell you where they were heading to? And Jonathan said, the suspect was handed over to me, not Sergeant Mogane. Jonathan says that it mentioned that the accused had a court appearance at Vosloorus, but he doesn't know for which case. He says the accused entered Vosloorus court with Sergeant Mogane. Now, Advocate Mngomezulu then said that I put it to you that the accused will deny that he ever entered the Vosloorus court. Then Jonathan says the accused did enter the court. We saw him entering the court. Now, why has this court appearance not been mentioned by the state yet? Did it even make this court appearance? Did it even happen? We want to know. It will
probably open can of worms because it is probably the reason why these people are there. You know, it has a potential of doing that. Unlike the other one, in this case, they didn't. You see, the other one, they were dwelling on it. In fact, they were setting traps
because it was closed
all over so that you start touching on it, and that was done mainly to touch the mood, actually to tap on the mood of a judge, to say that these people are people who are capable of doing 1, 2, 3. Therefore, find against them. And if you look at things that these people have went through, they went through the head.
Yes.
The head failed the state. The state, basically, the state is looking for something.
They're
Through
still
this
looking
case,
for something.
there was
9
no
years
case
later.
that was built here. They failed on the head.
Yeah.
And then they tried the cell phone issue. They failed there. Because that thing can pick anything. See, I can call now. It can pick something in Tembisa if it's available. If there's no, maybe the line is not busy that side, it can put me there. They failed there.
Or you've you've gotten someone's number who's been in contact with the person.
So now, they are waiting now for there's a Vodacom issue or is it Vodacom, or is it
It's Vodacom.
Vodacom? Yes, they're waiting. Now the problem is that the state has not requested that in advance. I mean, defense. So they are going to get these things, and obviously it's going to be an issue of who said what. So basically, now we are at the issue of confession, which is seemingly failing. Do you understand? The issue of confession is seemingly failing. So if that thing fails, do expect SMSs that are kind of aligning, but scrambled SMSs. So we're going to keep on running around the cycle. I don't know for how long.
Washo Munyusisi, what is your fella kone bid? I feel like that's what's happening.
We are running around the cycle 10 times. It doesn't
I feel like
matter.
that's what's happening here.
We
There are
restart.
some people who are refusing to accept the situation for what it is, and they are just...
So they keep on fishing, basically. As we go, we keep on fishing. As we go, we keep on fishing. Let's bring this. Let's bring this. Let's bring the bullet. But the problem with the bullet now, the issue of guns. There was a revolver. There was a 9mm.
No
that changes the story, because initially it was a revolver. From revolver to 9mm alone. From there to now, both of them being in the house.
Now it's both a pistol and a revolver.
And it never worked. So basically, we are going back now. Back to SMSs. And
Which
SMSs...
is why the people in the house need to be put on the stand.
So now we are going back
All
to
of
the
them.
SMSs.
Back
The issue
to
of
square one.
SMSs is going to come maybe with 2 messages. Simple messages. One message is going to say, we've done the job. The other one is going to say, when is going and then they're going to say the other one could not be recovered. You can almost
Yo,
predict
we are
this thing.
going through a lot in this case. At the end of it, we're gonna need counseling. We are going through a lot. Like, how is this even allowed to continue? Like, I don't understand. Because under normal circumstances, a judge would have said, I corner. It doesn't go like this when it's about to go. I stayed, go back to the drawing board.
Exactly.
There's nothing.
There's nothing here. I can't keep on fishing and going around.
We've been here for 2 years now.
Yes.
You can't, after 2 years, not have anything.
So basically, we are chasing our tail.
What more statements are being written now that are going to be revealed next year in April?
Very soon, someone is going to come and say something.
I'm exhausted.
Like we keep on trying.
Then Mngomezulu asked, was he received by the police officers, do you know? And Jonathan said, we only saw him entering the court. Did he ever enter the holding cells of Voslera's court? And Jonathan says he doesn't know. Jonathan said the entrance was at the back or side. Okay, he was in a position to see whether accused and Mogane entered. Jonathan said once you enter, whether accused enter, it's a separate gate. He could see from the parking area. He was in their vicinity, visible to them at all times.
Yes.
How? When you say they've entered inside the building.
The other side also. You're talking about the other side, at either back
How
or
did you
sideways.
see them?
You basically didn't even see them entering the door.
He then said that their escort was completed after the Voslera's court. Their shift was completed. He said it was near 2 o'clock when Mogano and the accused entered the court. So Mngomezulu then asked, this was not a prescribed procedure of escorting. It was a procedure created by the investigating officer. Jonathan said the IO was aware that it was close to our knock-off time and prior arrangements to that the investigating officer should do. Now Mngomezulu asked, did you bother to call the investigating officer to tell them that this is your knock-off time? Are there any other arrangements that you've made? And Jonathan says the investigating officer was aware of that. It was not discussed.
So
I highly doubt, in my opinion.
in a sense, there is no one, because if there was someone who can account for escorting after that whole case, then that person was going to be called on the stand. And right now, there's no one.
Now, Mngomezulu said, when I took instructions from accused 1 and 2, you are always in the picture. There's no other shift. It's you, Hadebe, Mapumulo. You are always in the shift. No one is replacing you. Do you know the reason why? And Jonathan said, I can speculate that it might be a trust factor.
Mm-hmm. Now, here we go.
This is the problem right here.
But you don't know this man.
This is the problem.
You don't know this man. You just met this man through this case.
But it's a trust factor.
Already you've built
He's
a
not
bond.
your supervisor. He's not working in the same department that you're working in. He's in cold case in Pretoria division. You are EMPD. Okay, you don't see each other like that. And you are telling us that it's a trust factor. Trust from where?
So he doesn't trust other escorters. Trust you. You and you who he do not know that much.
This is the problem, right? This is the problem right here. Konala. Then Mngomezulu then said, yeah, sure, the most trusted person, because when you ascended the box, accused number 2 called me and told me that when I see this man, I feel like crying the way he was beating me. I'm traumatized. Jonathan says, I don't know the accused. Now Mngomezulu said, if you don't know the accused, but Brigadier Gininda trusts you. Jonathan says, my lord, that trust was built over the few occasions we worked together. You've worked together before. Where? Which cases? Who were you escorting?
Those people will need to review that case if they are.
Well, there was a tea break, and after that, Jonathan said that the accused was normal, and he does not remember taking him to a medical practitioner. And he also said that he only met accused number 1 on the 5th of June in Alberton. Now the focus shifted to accused number 1's version, and Jonathan has denied being present when the accused Moses Bia was arrested in Tembisa on the 30th of May 2020. Mngomezulu asked, were you present when accused number 1 was arrested? And Jonathan said no. Mngomezulu asked, would the accused be lying if he said if you were there when he was arrested? And Jonathan said yes, he would be lying. Mngomezulu then asked, do you know if accused number 1 was arrested with a warrant? And Jonathan said, I don't know, my lord. Mngomezulu asked, they lifted him up with his handcuffs and told him he's under arrest. Accused number 1, do you dispute that? And Jonathan said, yes, I was not present. Then he was asked as to where does he reside. He showed them the place and they asked him, with whom does he stay? He said he stays with his uncle. They then took him to the place where he resides. All these officers, including you and the uncle, was not found. They then opened the door by kicking it, and he was told to change his clothing. Do you know that? And Jonathan said no. Mngomezulu then said, they then took him to the motor vehicle and taken to Litabong, a municipality area. Around that area, that is where the issue of assault commenced. He was beaten, he was choked with a plastic bag and asked to tell the truth about the death of Senzo Meyiwa. He was asked who he was with when Senzo was killed. This is very important because I remember when we covered MC Menzisto's video, a narration of what the family had told him. This is part of the questions that Moses Bia was asked, accused number 1, while he was being allegedly tortured. He was asked who he was with when Senzo was killed. And that is how we ended up having accused number 2, allegedly, according to the families. So why were they asking him who he was with? It's almost as if they knew that they were not looking for one person.
Yes. And also to make sure that the taking is not reported until they get enough time.
Well, he said he has no knowledge. And for those who keep
Allegedly.
saying that, you know what, these people are guilty, think about it. Between accused number 1 and accused number 3, who's the man with the dreadlocks? Who's the first intruder?
No one.
Like, really think about it. Because the way accused number 1 was apprehended, it was with a vision.
The occurrence book, for
The
example.
only thing that let them down was the dreadlocks.
The other thing is the occurrence book. If these people are lying, is the occurrence book also lying that these people were booked for hours, some of them?
Yes. When we
As
didn't
they
talk
said
about
on Friday.
it Friday.
Yes. Someone will be booked today and then be brought back to 2 a.m. the next day.
Then taken again at 4 a.m.
Do you understand?
That's like 2 hours. Did he have time to bath, time to eat, time to do anything, time to think? What?
And that thing was recorded down, and
On
they
a
didn't
occurrence
have
book.
they didn't have access to that, did they?
No. Wow. To think about it, actually, you are booked in at 2, you're taken back again out at 4. You just arrived. Then you're taken again. And then they're saying there was no torture. That alone is torture. That alone is torture. Okay. So he says he has no knowledge of that. Even now, he denies his involvement in the death of Senzo Meyiwa. Do you know anything about that? And Jonathan said, no, my lord. Mngomezulu said, then after he was transported to Vosloorus, Mngomezulu said, accused was told to sign the document. Otherwise, if he didn't sign, he will continue to be assaulted. And Jonathan said, I was not at Diepkloof. Mngomezulu said, after that, accused number 1 was forced to sign. Jonathan said, I have no knowledge of that. Mngomezulu said he was then taken to Valeria police station. On the 5th of June 2020, accused number 1 was booked out of Valeria police station and was assaulted again. And you were present, Jonathan. Jonathan said, I was present at Alberton police station. Mngomezulu then said, so you were not present when he was booked out. Jonathan said, that's correct, my lord. And then Mngomezulu said, from Valeria to Vosloorus on the 5th of June, he was assaulted in Vosloorus and taken to Alberton police station. You didn't see the suspect in the cells. And Jonathan said, no, my lord. Mngomezulu, how did you know who the suspect was? And Jonathan said, we were not told who it is. Mngomezulu asked, Colonel Hadebe testified you were near the cells. And Jonathan said, that statement I can deny. And then Mngomezulu then said, you then traveled after photos were taken and followed vehicle of Colonel Hadebe. As an escort, you must always be vigilant to safeguard the safety of Hadebe. Jonathan said, yes. Mngomezulu then said, on arrival at a particular place, Hadebe and the accused and the photographer got off the vehicle. Then Jonathan said, we were in the vicinity. Mngomezulu then asked, you also got out of the vehicle from where you were able to see Hadebe, the photographer and the suspect. Jonathan said, yes. Mngomezulu said, could they see you? And Jonathan said, yes. Jonathan said that during the pointings out by accused 1, he could be seen from where he was standing. Then Mngomezulu was done with his cross-examination. Advocate Charles Mnisi and Advocate Zitolele Nxumalo decided to not cross-examine, and Advocate Mshololo decided to cross-examine. So she started off by asking, what is the car registration number on the 19th of June 2020? And Jonathan gave it to him, okay? He could remember it by head, which is nice. Mshololo then said, on the 19th of June 2020, when you were requested? And then Jonathan said the day before. So he was requested on the 18th of June 2020. Then Mshololo asked at what time, and Jonathan said in the afternoon. I can't recall the exact time. Mshololo asked, who requested you? And he says, Sergeant Mogane. And Mshololo asked, did he call you or did he call your supervisor or the head of police? Jonathan said our immediate supervisor was on the line. It's interesting that he had a supervisor. Then Mshololo said, what was the name of the supervisor requested? Then Jonathan said, Superintendent Vinshad Singh. That's the immediate supervisor that he had on the 19th of June 2020. Mshololo asked, where is he now? And Jonathan said, like I said, we were all redeployed. He's in the Aquarian unit. What is the Aquarian unit, guys?
I would not know. If these people did these things and they were disbanded for that reason, why redeploy them?
I got a deployer.
Why don't you just fire them?
They are comrades. You understand? They are comrades who know each other's shenanigans, in my opinion. So you can't just fire. When you fire, someone will spill the beans. You see. So now you must redeploy and not have them lose out on their livelihood like that. So that's the situation, in my opinion, in my observation. I don't feel like anybody should be thrown under the bus, because once they are thrown under the bus, they turn state witness. Anger. Right?
Yeah.
Then they sing like a canary at the right price. Right? So I feel like redeployment is how they protect one another.
That's just like the video. Thank you, Nate. Just like the video. I mean, we have 200 people liking. We have 721 people.
Guys, like the video. How? Like
watching.
The video. Otherwise, I'm gonna resign. You know, I'm just gonna come live when I feel like it.
Don't do that.
Then I'll give you guys videos, 30-minute videos, summary. Boom. Is that what you guys want? Be specific, okay? So Mshololo then said, and the logbook, can you get it? Jonathan said, we can arrange it through my supervisor. Mshololo said, was there a written authority or permission for you to go and provide the services to the SAPS on the 19th of June 2020? Jonathan said, Brigadier Kininda will email our immediate supervisor requesting our services. So bayamfaka no supervisor. Hayi supervisor kumele eze naye uzotestify.
Was a supervisor.
Supervisor was.
Aren't you we have 1,000 witnesses? Why not?
Why not? That were not in Fosloras on the 26th of October, by the way. So, no, there was no written permission. They received instruction from their supervisor telephonically. Then Mshololo put it to Jonathan that he did not sign the occurrence book. Baloyi said that they have not received that occurrence book. Mshololo then said the suspect was handed to you on the 19th of June, and Jonathan said yes. Mshololo said main duties was to escort, and Jonathan said yes, but we are not limited. Mshololo then said, what other duties are you authorized to do? And Jonathan said safeguard, investigating officers, etc. Mshololo went through what Ms. Grenier said regarding the 8 heavily armed policemen that she passed by and wanted the names of those who were heavily armed. He gave only 4, you guys. I gave Buthelezi, I heard there, Mogano, I heard there, himself. Who was the 4th one, Mr. Anonymous? I forgot the 4th one.
Buthelezi.
Yes, Mogano. Himself, Jonathan. Then
Forgot the other one.
The other one. So Jonathan said he doesn't know why his fellow colleagues could not give their appointment certificates to Ms. Grenier. Well,
and they forgot the 2 or more than 2 that were there also.
Yes. Then Mshololo said the reason you remained there at Moroka police station was to induce fear to the accused so that he does what he was instructed to do. Jonathan said, after handing over the suspects, I went outside as instructed by Colonel Rapad. Mshololo asked, was the accused handcuffed when you were standing there? Jonathan said, yes. Mshololo, why were you heavily armed? And Jonathan said, I would not describe it as heavily armed. You were heavily armed. Get over it. Advocate Mshololo said, has accused the witness of waiting outside the Moroka police station while Colonel Rapadu took down the confession to induce fear in the suspect. She says there was no need for him to wait while the suspect was handcuffed at a police station. Jonathan said, my lord, after handing over the suspect...
Yeah, it's Mapumulo.
Colonel Mapumulo is the fourth one. Thank you, guys. Then Colonel Rapadu requested me to hand over the suspect, and after that, I walked outside, where we parked and waited for them to finish the confession. Mshololo then said, how did you know it was a confession? Jonathan said, I mentioned statement or confession. Mshololo asked, how did you know there was going to be a statement? Then Jonathan said, from Sergeant Mogane, my lord. Mshololo has taken the witness on why other officers did not hand over their appointment certificates and instead walked out, and being heavily armed when accused 2 was at the Boksburg Magistrates Court as per Magistrate Grenier's evidence. Mshololo asked who was heavily armed. Jonathan said, us. Mshololo said, please give us the names who were heavily armed. Then Jonathan said, my lord, we were in our full uniform. Mshololo asked again who was heavily armed. And then Mshololo asked, please give us the names of those who were heavily armed. And he kept insisting we were in our full uniform. That's up until he gave those 4 names, you guys. But yeah, Mshololo pressed on it and she finally got them. I was kind of happy about this part of her cross-examination because it was not something that Mngomezulu had done, you know, or really done or gotten into. Though Jonathan has denied that they were heavily armed, saying that they put out their uniforms as they appeared at Boksburg Magistrate Court on a daily basis. Now, there was a long adjournment, and afterwards, Mshololo came back and asked, how come you remember the man who was wearing a suit? And Jonathan said he was inside as we approached the office. This man in a suit sounds like he's part of the crew. It sounds like it. Why do they have so much emphasis of the man in a suit? Mshololo then asked, do you remember what the magistrate was wearing on that day? And Jonathan said, no, my lord. But they remember the man in a suit. The man in a suit, they remember him. All of them. All of them. But they don't remember what Muscrinier, the only lady, or maybe 2, there were 2 ladies because the interpreter was also a lady. 2 ladies. You don't remember what they were wearing? Mshololo provisionally concluded her cross-examination of the witness pending her perusal of an occurrence book she earlier requested. Well, these occurrence books were provided to her during lunch, and she said if anything comes out of it, she will ask that the witness be recalled to the stand. Mshololo asked to pause her cross-examination as she wanted to go through other statements which involved Jonathan as well as those occurrence books. They will stand down until tomorrow. There was a witness waiting to testify in respect of the confession of the 24th of June, the one done by Ms. Crenier, and another police officer of EMPD. Mshololo said that she would like to go through those occurrence books and finish a cross-examination tomorrow. While Mngomezulu, Advocate Mnisi, as well as Nxumalo were fine with the new witness doing their examination or evidence in chief, and they will cross-examine tomorrow.
I don't understand why Mshololo refused. Because it's like having something beforehand for once in a lifetime. You were given a chance not to cross-examine. You just listen and take that as homework. Go home. Why she refused, I cannot fathom it. There was no prejudice. Just listening. And then taking whatever notes that you need to take. Prepare for this that you still need to continue with, and also prepare for the person that you need to start with, or eventually cross-examine. I don't know why he's always in a hurry to adjourn the court. It doesn't seem good, actually.
She's been asking for too many adjournments
Which
my
are
opinion.
understandable and we support them. But when you come back and you still cross-examining like a normal day, I mean, it's not like you're coming with something out of this world, you know. And in this case, you were not going to cross-examine. There was no need for you to refuse that chance. Just to sit down and listen and jot down the notes, so that when you go and consult, you have a consolidated view of at least two witnesses that are crucial.
I don't know.
And these are not your clients for the starters. I mean, as much as you are allowed to, because this is a case that is like conjoined.
Yes.
Yes. You are allowed also to. It doesn't affect
client.
one person without affecting the other. Yes, you still need time to go through these things. But who are you going to be consulting with? Because
with regards to the occurrence books,
yeah,
right?
Yes, you're not
Because
going to
it
be.
would be nice if
She
the
talked about
accused-
consulting with the client. On what basis is she going to be consulting? These things are not things that are really saying that at this time, this is what I did on accused number 5. They are saying nothing basically on accused number 5, but you are protecting that water from reaching accused number 5. And we understand that. But why do you refuse to cross-examine? I mean, to listen. Just to listen. For Baloyi to lead, I use your name, Cronje. Cronje who took the statement. And then continue.
That's exhausting. That's exhausting. I have to say, guys, like the evidence in chief part is my least favorite. It's tiring for me. Is your name Officer Rapadu? Yes, my name is Joe Batu.
So there was no need for me. It was unnecessary.
And it would have been great for him to get started vele today.
Do you understand?
Tomorrow, kube cross-examination.
So
It would
that
have been nice.
next day we also get another new witness.
Yes, because the evidence in chief, it exhausts me. It wears me out. It really does. Okay, guys.
But what also we should call out, the judge seemingly is not really, he has no interest in reprimanding the state. The behavior of the state is just out of this world. How is handing over the thing. But that being said, from the defense point of view, if you see that loophole, use it. Why not? Because the judge now is easing the rules for the states and therefore also helping you at the time when he's taking these decisions. Sometimes he hits himself on the foot to say, I'm going to allow you to do 1, 2, 3. Why not take that? Considering your other colleagues were already saying, yeah, it's fine. As long as we're not going to cross-examine, it's okay. So the judge doesn't, at the end of the day, seem impartial. This is according to me. It doesn't seem like he's a fair judge. It doesn't seem like that. It's my own opinion. That's what I'm observing about the judge.
Okay, the lines are open.
The lines are open, guys. Let's hear
call
what
in.
you guys have to say. We're gonna take a couple of people, and then we're gonna close. And that's if people are here to call. Greetings from Windhoek.
That's Namibia. Shout out to Namibia.
Was the suspect not arrested based on Zungu's snitching? Zungu? No, Zungu's never snitch. Zungu's coming with his own theory.
Well, he did in a way. I mean, isn't he the one who pointed accused 1 to 5 and said he was at the hostel with them?
No, the arresting didn't happen because of that.
No, the arresting
Zungu's
definitely
thing
didn't
just
happen because
came
of him.
yesterday, 2023.
Yeah, his statement was done this
That's
year.
why I'm trying to say that these things are coming as we go. There was no... In fact, the state, with Zungu's statement, when they claim... That's why I'm surprised that the defense is just chill. The state could have submitted that if you were afraid for your witness, you could have removed the name, but gave us the gist of the statement to say, here's the statement, so that we prepare properly.
Yes.
Because that excuse was just lame.
You could have removed the name if the person is not safe or is in danger.
Yes,
then
but
you
give
remove
us the
name
content of what the statement is
so
going to
that
say.
we prepare.
That is
properly.
allowed to protect your witnesses then, since they are afraid.
Not in that courtroom. That courtroom is a different ball game.
So Baloyi keeps on just giving them drops. Hey, my
Drips and
lord,
drabs.
we needed to protect the witness. Yeah, you could have cancelled the name, bruh,
Drips and drabs.
and give us exactly what we need to, the content, so that we prepare through that content. We don't need a person to prepare for what is coming when it comes to content of the statement. That's all we need. What is being said. We'll notice the person when it's there. But for now, what is being said should be with us long ago. Not this issue of we're protecting the witness, my lord.
Yeah.
I mean, my colleagues, if they need more time, we are not going to oppose that, my lord. I think the court should stand down, and we are playing in Baloyi's hands because he doesn't want to see this case finishing. This case finishing means that he's not going to get any joy. So when you waste time and it's like you're working with him. It's like you're working with him.
It's dragging.
Stop taking yes. I mean, if it suits you, if it's okay, even here we've been saying sometimes, complaining about that. But when the chance avails itself, don't waste time. Don't waste time. The sooner you finish with these 100 witnesses, the sooner Baloyi is gonna run out of the room. Because it's squeezing, it keeps on squeezing. That's why now he's gonna come now and then with people who were not there on the list.
Yep.
He's gonna bring those people and say, my lord, we just decided to bring this one. Let's hear what this voice note has to say. I'm hoping it's good.
Hey, Mr. Anonymous. This case, it's very complicated and like you wish nje akuna case at all. Mr. Baloyi nje is just trying to throw everything that can stick to those guys. Unfortunately, there's nothing that is sticking. Konke kuyashelela nje. But however, those Metro Police guys, abantu bakaGininda, he's trusting them, and those guys were on that SWAT unit that was disbanded.
Come on.
That was
Disbanded because of, remember, there was a show on Third Degree and Special Assignment, if I'm not mistaken, about the SWAT. Those guys used to go around East Rand, terrorizing, beating people up, harassing people, and then eventually the EMPD or under, I think it was Robert McBride, if I'm not mistaken, they decided, or it was after Robert McBride, they decided to disband that SWAT unit because of the terrorism people. And then there was also a 16-year-old who was killed by those guys. So that's why they disbanded them, because of now they were acting like super cops, beating people up, torturing people, doing all sorts of things. And those guys, Gininda trusts them that these guys, they can do the job that he wants them to do. They can do the tasks that he wants them to.
Come on, don't do that to me.
Them to fulfill. But anyway, eventually there's no case here, my man. They can, even Baloyi can call 1,000 witnesses who were together. I have seen the picture of all those 4 guys who were on that SWAT team. I've seen the picture on Facebook together with the guy was also testifying today. Thanks, my man. Enjoy the show. I love the show, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for that info. Because wow.
All is alleged, just for control purposes. But thank you. We like that. So, I mean, for me, this comment just closes everything. No one is calling. I would assume that nothing comes on.
Tired.
We are all tired.
We're exhausted.
We are all exhausted. And if that is the case, if no one is going to call, all is good. Then let me see. Just finish reading here. The statement, he was happy and free to talk. Now we know where it's coming from, as they all emphasize it. It was just to cover their evil. I cannot say the word. Apart something police system. Sbia was arrested for
Illegal
substance
dealing.
and then selling jiggy Senzo's case. Ntanzi was arrested for Nongoma case, jiggy Senzo's case. I like the fact that he said Kennedy trusted them. I like the fact that he said Kennedy trusted them. Yeah, that's basically what they are feeling. Guys, we are back. Thank you for being with us. If no one calls, then we shall proceed until tomorrow and see what tomorrow holds for us. If that occurrence book has anything that we can look at and feel that it amuses us as the court of public opinion. But so far, so good, Emil.
Yeah. So guys, thank you so much for joining us here again. And
Zanzi, hello.
Oh, I call like yay.
Mr. Anonymous, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm also good. Sis Emily Unjani.
Yaphila unjani?
Namdi right. It's Ian from Marigan.
Hi.
Mariga.
Yes. You know, Mr. Anonymous, I just wish my brother, because after this case now, there's a lot that we are asking ourselves as the public now.
Yes.
That how many cases where people are being treated unfairly like this behind closed doors? And we simply wish, my brother, I don't know what is it that you can do, but you now need to multiply. Because we need this show all over now. So that cases can be exposed to public, so that people can know what is happening on court. Because you can see that people like Brigadier Diminda and Untouchable, whatever that they do, it goes. And you start questioning the cases that they have handled before. That how many cases did Brigadier Diminda deal with? What kind of cases? How did they go? Because clearly on this one of things, we can see that it's a waste of time for us, and unfortunately for those guys. When it comes to the judge now, it's worse. Because when they changed the judge, we had hope that, okay, at least this judge is coming, things will be much better, they will be quicker and all that, only to find out that these guys are just playing with us. And I feel like now, if they can change a judge again, it seems like they're just buying time.
Yeah.
We don't know for what. They're just buying time. Like, let's just prolong this thing so that it can't end, and it ends there. But it didn't end. We don't know what will happen and all that. Unfortunately, poor people are FJ. And for the crimes that they've committed, it's fine. But to be just thrown under the bus on something that you don't know, that is very sad. And I just like the strategy now of defense. It seems like since the new advocate has been introduced, there are combinations that you see that, okay, this one focuses on this one, then the other one will come and finish on this one. That combination is really helping, because at first we didn't see that combination. They were acting as an island.
Yes.
This one will focus on herself, this one will focus on himself, but at least since they've introduced the new advocate, even no advocate usually, they are starting to wake up.
Yes.
We can see the combinations and all that, but we don't know the strategy behind that delay, what is happening.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But I just wish that we can really try something maybe to grow that, like grow the team, do something on the membership so that we can subscribe. Each and every month we must pay something that can enable you just to be all over now this court, and so that we can see what is happening behind courts or closed doors. Maybe you start having your crew there as your media team, because we are having SABCs, we don't know which case are they covering. They choose cases.
Yes.
It seems like cases like this ones are important for them. Ordinary cases for people maybe at farm areas and all that, they are not important for them.
Yeah.
And those cases are cases whereby family members are there, accused of things that they didn't do. I think that you guys are also needed there. Like every court, you guys must be there to see. That's what is happening at court. People can just be arrested randomly, can just take you, beat you, you must admit the guilt. They give you a legal aid lawyer, go to jail. You must admit the guilt and all that, then you go to jail. Can't be. But again, my brothers, for that show, thanks a lot, man. We wish God may protect you. Guinea must stay far from you, my brother. Thanks, it's Eben.
Thank you, it's not me. There's a lot of people. Why you should?
But there's many of us.
There's many of us. There's a UJ guy who's an analyst there, who's calling a spade a spade. And there are many other channels.
The army is growing.
There are people from TikTok who are talking about these things.
Yes.
Do you know we're just chilling here on YouTube? What is wrong with us? We're just leaky ones, and we have 28,000 people who are subscribed to our channel. Come on.
So
I'm just saying, my brother, that there are many platforms that have become. If it is SABC, SABC.
No, my brother, the platforms are many like that. Like, even myself, I choose to listen to you than call.
No, you know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say, what we do here, we just update and then we talk what we think, and then there are people who are doing a lot of damage. That if this man that we just spoke about wanted to target, he must. we are nobody. We are the last one.
We are.
No, but content is very different. Eh?
Yeah.
I've tried to listen to others. I know there are many people. I've tried to listen to others, but I can't say a lot about others. Eh? Okay. I prefer listening to this one.
I think you are used to us now. Thank you very much. Thank you.
No, thanks a lot, sir. Thanks, it's Emily.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'm just saying, people are sweaty.
Yeah. But our caller has a point about street journalism and getting like reporters on the ground, on the field.
That's true. It's missing.
It's part of our vision as well.
After looking at these things, I mean,
you wish you have someone in there in the court reporting for us. You know, that's my wish. I don't know about you guys, but it would be nice.
It would be nice.
Every time, every hour, I look at jail. This is what happened behind the scenes. You know, in a language that we will understand. It would be refreshing. But yeah, finances, guys, finances.
Yeah.
You have to ensure the camera because the camera is on the streets. Finances. That's all I'm going to say. SABC can do it. Mainstream media can do it because obviously they've got the budget. You understand? So guys, Mr. Anonymous, is there something that you have found on the WhatsApp? Mr. Anonymous?
There are.
What are you reading?
I'm reading something.
Share.
See, there's some naughty guy here who's busy asking what happened to that Lupon. So there is a case here. I've got the case. Just that I would need to. In fact, I would answer you tomorrow. It's not a problem. You know those people who come with that whatever. So, I mean, I guess it's better than that. That is it. A professor who's in UJ.
Oh, Anton Hart.
Yes, it's better than the other analyst.
No, Anton Hart has been really good at analysis. I have to give that man his flowers.
Yes, yes, and then we get
case.
People who are coming here to, I guess they are professors now. In any case, I will answer your question because you seem to think that you are running away from your question. I will answer your question tomorrow. It's not a question. It's not a problem. I will read the whole case. I've got it now. It's not a problem. We are ready for you. We'll give you your answer, and you'll be happy.
Hi guys.
It's a bye from me, guys. Thank you very much for being with us.
Yeah. And hopefully this week is a consistent week, you guys. Please pray for me.
Yeah, we pray for you.
Please let it be a consistent week. Until tomorrow. Bye.
Yo, WhatsApp group Dingan is on scrolling there. 067-619-0343. That's the number. Guys, cheers. Please, we'll see you tomorrow.